Praise the Lord. Sam Bankman-Fried is not only now arrested 6 p.m. last night in the Bahamas, but also the Commodity Future Trading Commission just filed a lawsuit against him. The SEC is filing charges. The Department of Justice is filing charges. Holy smokes. In this video, we're going to talk about what's going on with Sam Bankman-Fried, some of the charges against him. We're also going to talk about massive outflows from Binance, including the halting of a very popular stablecoin. You know, my opinion on stablecoins has been stay away from these coins. Folks, let's get into talking about this. So first, Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested last night, Monday, in the Bahamas. Charges include wire fraud conspiracy, securities fraud conspiracy, money laundering. He's so far the only person that has been charged. He's scheduled to appear in court today. The arrest was completed at the request of the United States government, which implies that at some point he'll be extradited to the United States, and we'll probably see some sort of delayed prosecution. Generally, in situations like this, even though an individual has the right to a speedy trial, their lawyers usually encourage them to delay the trial and waive their right to a speedy trial so they can prepare their defenses, while at the same time the other side can prepare their prosecution, which I will say, they've already had a month to prepare their prosecution. This FTX stuff has been going on for way too long, and I've probably said in 20 different videos and on interviews, I can't wait for this guy to end up in jail. Now, many people, though, like a person like, we won't mention Bill Ackman, says, hey, I kind of trust the kid. And I remember replying to this on Twitter and saying this is ridiculous. That guy, bare minimum, is criminally negligent. Now, here's something to know. When you're running an organization and you're managing people's money, you might not intentionally be committing fraud. But what I said in an interview, and with Yahoo Finances, if you put a shotgun on a table that's a loaded gun and it's on a dining table and kids are around and it's pointing at one of the kids and you just happen to walk away and somebody else, like a little child, accidentally pulls the trigger, you're still being criminally negligent for having created that situation. And I believe that's exactly what happened in this situation. Sam Bankman-Fried was a complete idiot with the processes he set up at FTX while fooling everyone on Wall Street that he had one of the safest platforms around. Anyway, what we have now is also a potential rumor that a whistleblower helped lead to some of the charges coming out against Sam Bankman-Fried, providing potentially evidence. We don't actually know that with certainty yet, but that is a belief at this point. We are expecting regulators to look into potential market manipulation claims, especially around Luna and the FTT token. I find that actually quite interesting because this is now regulators coming in and setting a precedent that, listen, if you manipulate markets, we don't care if you're in a regulated market or not. We will come for you. That's actually a big shift for the crypto industry. Again, the CFTC is also now suing Sam Bankman-Fried. They're also suing his quant trading firm, Alameda Research, which, of course, Carolyn, she runs that one. Boy, I can't wait to see her arrested either, honestly. Maxine Waters was expecting at the House Financial Services Committee to interview Sam Bankman-Fried by Zoom today. She released a statement saying the following: I'm surprised to hear that SBF was arrested in the Bahamas at the direction of the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. It's about time the process to bring Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried to justice has begun. However, as the public knows, my staff and I have been working diligently to secure SBF's testimony before Congress tomorrow morning. This is true. She's been pushing for that, working on it. And so far, Sam Bankman-Fried had agreed to testify today. Some folks are saying that they didn't want they arrested Sam Bankman-Fried on purpose right before this because they didn't want him having more of an opportunity to potentially poison juries, to go on this sort of PR pitch of, hey, I'm just a dude who made a mistake, right? They wanted to shut him up. And honestly, what's crazy is I was standing at the New York Stock Exchange with FinTech TV yesterday, and I was talking to Vince, and I looked at Vince, I go, Vince, I, A, can't believe this guy's not in jail yet, and B, he needs to shut the F up. And Vince looks at me, he's like, it's ridiculous that they're letting this guy talk so much. He's so dumb that he's talking so much. And now that's finally done. Anyway, although Sam Bankman-Fried must be held accountable, the public deserves to hear directly from Mr. Bankman-Fried, says Maxine Waters here, as his actions have hurt over 1 million people. Honestly, I think we've heard enough from him, and I think he's incriminated himself enough in plenty of podcast interviews where he's backed himself into essentially describing his fraud, which it's pretty nice to finally see these charges coming out. Here's the SEC. The SEC today charged Sam Bankman-Fried with orchestrating a scheme to defraud equity investors. Those are people who invested in FTX, but then also the individuals who use the platform as well. The crypto trading platform, of which he was the CEO and co-founder, those titles mean something. CEO means something. It means you're the chief executive. Like, the buck stops with you. Shady stuff happens under you. You can't just pretend, oh, I didn't know. The buck stops with you. It's your job to know. Investigations as to other security law violations and other entities and persons relating to misconduct are ongoing. That's a tease right there to potentially further arrests and charges coming. We're going to talk about Binance, by the way, in just a moment. But according to the SEC's complaint, since at least May of 2019, FTX raised more than $1.8 billion from equity investors, including about approximately $1.1 from 90-based U.S. investors. Wow, 90. That's 10 mil-ish on average each there, a little bit more. In his representations to investors, SBF promoted FTX as a safe, responsible crypto asset trading platform, specifically touting FTX's sophisticated automated risk measures. Yeah, to which apparently we found out that Alameda is exempt from the margin requirements and rules and the measures. In other words, there are back doors that exempted his own trading firm from the margin requirements and the liquidation requirements that he touted. It's so disgusting. This is so disgusting. I mean, this is so blatant. I can't wait to see this person 20 years in prison or more. The complaint alleges that in reality, SBF orchestrated a years-long fraud to conceal FTX investors, the undisclosed diversion of FTX customer funds to Alameda Research, his privately held crypto hedge fund, and the undisclosed special treatment afforded to Alameda, like I just mentioned, including providing Alameda with a virtually unlimited line of credit funded by the platform's customers and exempting Alameda from risk mitigation measures, margin calls, and the undisclosed risk stemming from FTX's exposure to Alameda's significant holdings of overvalued, illiquid assets such as FTX-affiliated tokens like FTT. Complaint further alleges that SBF used commingled FTX customer funds at Alameda to make undisclosed venture investments, lavish real estate purchases in the Bahamas for his friends, his family, employees, and large political donations publicly to Democrats, and then he suggests also equally in hidden channels to Republicans, because he believes that gave him a more favorable impression to the media. Oh, it's so disgusting. We allege that SBF built a house of cards on a foundation of deception while telling investors it was one of the safest buildings in crypto, says Gary Gensler. The alleged fraud committed by SBF is a clarion call to crypto platforms that they need to come into compliance with our laws. Well, get to it, SEC. Compliance protects. I imagine they're working on it, but boy, like, let us get more compliance. I mean, maybe I think they might be bound by Congress here. So I don't know. But it's taken a while. Anyway, compliance protects both those who invest, yes, and those who invest in the platforms, yes, with time-tested safeguards such as properly protecting customer funds, separating conflicting lines of business. It also shines a light into trading platform conduct for both investors through disclosure and regulators through examination authority. Yep, that's true. You get that blessing from the SEC. We're going through a Reg A filing for our house hack startup. You can learn more about that by going to househack.com and read the accredited purchase private placement memorandum there. That's a solicitation. This video is not. To those platforms that don't comply with our securities laws, the SEC's Enforcement Division is ready to take action. Okay, and we kind of get the idea here. I really want to talk about Binance. Do a quick little skim here, operated under a veneer of legitimacy, but as we allege, that veneer wasn't just thin, it was fraudulent. That's actually a big statement there. Risk controls failed, very real risks in misuse of funds, unregistered securities. The SEC's complaint seeks injunctions against further security law violations, an injunction that prohibits Sam Bankman-Fried from participating in issuance, purchase, offer, or sale of securities except his own personal account, disgorgement from all ill-gotten gains, a civil penalty, and an officer and director bar, which means you can no longer be like a CEO or CFO or whatever. It's pretty big. Now, let's talk Binance for a moment, because that's pretty big as well. So we've got some Binance news, and a lot of it is riding after this arrest here of Sam Bankman-Fried, because I've made some videos talking about how CZ is you should be skeptical of some of CZ's decisions, including hiding in Dubai. How much staff do they really have? Why do they, when they go to show their offices to reporters, is almost nobody there? Oh, they're all virtual and remote workers today. And why does CZ never want to come to the United States? Because he's worried about being arrested over here. And who actually owns Binance? Nobody really knows, because there's so many entities involved. Reports by Bloomberg show that anybody who's tried to sue Binance has tried and failed, because they can't even figure out who to serve the papers to, because the ownership is so arcane for Binance. Whew, if I had any dime on Binance, like I've been saying for months, get off, like get everything off exchange. And that's actually exactly what's happening. After Binance halted USDC withdrawals, citing a CoinSwap update coming. By the way, that sounds really, really bad and shady. Net outflows for the past week at Binance have hit $3.7 billion. Nearly $2 billion in just the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, those one-day withdrawals are coming in 18 times higher than usual. And there's a potential Department of Justice investigation, a new one, there's already investigations, coming to Binance. CZ, of course, on Twitter is reiterating the firm's outlook, saying things like, ignore the FUD, keep building. Binance Coin is down 3.45% on the week, while Bitcoin and Ethereum are up 5 to 6% on the week. You've got market maker Jump Trading pulling funds from Binance, 18.4 million out in 24 hours, 123.4 million out in 7 days. 8 times more trading volume on Binance than on Coinbase, but Coinbase has actually seen a small inflow over the last 24 hours, although still almost $500 million of outflows in just the last week. People are getting off exchange finally, and it's sad that it's taken this, these sort of collapses here, but I don't think the pain is over for crypto. We really do need Ethereum and Bitcoin to trend up to save Binance, in my opinion. Not that I think they deserved saving, but I do think there are a lot of people on Binance, and I don't want to see anyone else hurt. But here's what is this? A few thumbs up. People who failed to see the FTX insolvency now calling for everyone else to be insolvent out of PTSD. No, I mean, I think it's out of reasonable safety, right? I think it's very reasonable. Of course, Binance, the CEO is like, oh, don't worry, we're safe. But that's what we've heard every platform say. Voyager Digital told us you were going to be safe. FTX said you were safe, everything was fine, and went bankrupt soon after. Voyager went bankrupt soon after. BlockFi, don't worry, everything's fine, we're processing withdrawals, everything's fine. 12 hours later, we're freezing withdrawals and we're going bankrupt. People are panicking because it's their money. Duh! Nobody wants to lose their money. This I think is so odd, this $62 billion asset and net worth item here. Just, look, I understand it says debts NA here, which I think is odd, because why would it not have a number, right? Why would it not say 0 if the debts were actually 0? But here it says assets / net worth. Those are not the same thing. Assets are assets, things that have value. Net worth is assets minus debts. So assets / net worth is not. This seems like it was written by somebody who has no accounting background. I don't trust this as far as I could throw it. CZ says FUD helps us grow. I see what he's doing. I mean, he's really trying to kind of take the momentum of anger in the crypto community and suggest, but don't worry, we're the white knight. Come grow with us. Meanwhile, he's limited responses to people who follow him or are mentioned by him. Goes back into some of the 2017 history about how they were FUD'd against in 2017 and survived. Whatever. On USDC, we have seen an increase in withdrawals. However, the channel swap from BAX to BUSD to USDC requires us going through a bank in New York. In USD, the banks are not open for another few hours. We expect the situation will be restored in a few hours when the banks open. These conversions are one-to-one, no margin or leverage involved. Okay, so he's obviously trying to address the concerns that people have. It's just still concerning that, really, all of a sudden, USDC conversions are all of a sudden not working because the withdrawals are so bad. I think there's panic going on here. I would not be in any platform right now in crypto. Not your keys, not your crypto. These are some incredible developments, though. We'll see how developments move on Sam Bankman-Fried. And, folks, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Check out the programs on Building Your Wealth down below with a coupon code PP expiring tomorrow, extended to tomorrow, so we can get back to the emails for folks requesting bundles at kevin@mekevin.com. Thanks. Goodbye.